lot of them can't get beyond the basic ingredient. They need just some simple cooking lessons to go from a plain chicken breast to something that they remember that's extraordinary. A pork chop, where you don't know what to do with it, so you cook the life out of it, and you complain because it's dry. Well, there's so many different ways to nurture that simple ingredient along and transform it into something memorable, something that's different every time. I mean, you can cook a pork chop with applesauce. We all grew up. You can cook a pork chop with a breaded coating. You can cook a pork chop on the barbecue or in the oven. But, again, it's a very reasonable, I'm just using pork as an example. It's a very reasonable way to feed your family. But there's so many ways you can transform your basic ingredient into something that the family says, well, hey, can you make that? We love that. Can you make that? And it doesn't have to be a steak every night. It doesn't have to be chicken strips in the oven every night. You can do things with basic ingredients, and I'm talking your basic cuts, that with a little simple instruction can transform them into something, one of your family favorites, things that you write down and on your note paper, your recipe, your personal recipe book, and make those the family favorites that get handed down. And it just takes a little nudging to get out of that pattern of the same thing every Tuesday, the same thing every Thursday, and on the weekend you know.
I am so excited because you're going to show us how to cook a pork chop on one of the shows, right?
I may or may not succeed. I'll give it a shot. But
oh my goodness! I mean, you said you could do it in the oven, on a barbecue. It doesn't really matter where, but there are basic things that people forget or don't do, right?
Well, they don't cook to temperature. Some people think that you can put something in the oven and come back exactly 25 or 30 minutes later, and it's going to be the same every time. Well, that pork chop may not be quite as thick or as thin as last time, so you have to. The most important thing is to cook to temperature, or realize that. Take a look at it. Maybe you have to take 5 minutes off it. Maybe you don't have to have a thermometer. Maybe you can realize that, well, that was a little bit thinner than the ones I bought last time. I'm going to take 5 minutes off that cooking time so the darn thing doesn't dry out. Because nothing worse than overcooking food to take the enjoyment out of it. Dry food is
terrible.
It's on the way to being jerky.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
it's kind of terrible.
That's right. Because you spent all this beautiful money and you take it home and admit it, guys. Sometimes they screw up with meat, right?
Oh,
I mean, they just put it in there, walk away for 20 minutes, and come back, and it's a terrible mess.
We're not natural kitchen dwellers.
Yes, we're not genetically predisposed.
But we can be. I mean, we're not totally incapable of learning. We do, we're natural fire handlers. That's the guys should be outside a little bit more. But